right, so why are we at war? First, it was that Iran was about to make nuclear weapons. They've been saying this since 1980s. Then it was regime change. Then it became because they were going to attack us first, which they later said that was not true. And believe this or not, this last statement, they said that the war between Israel and Iran was going to be the coming of Jesus. I shit you not on that one. All this because two convicted criminals, Donald Trump and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, wanted to start a war. Trump is the only person who's ever been convicted of 34 federal counts and has not been a prisoner or been on probation. Benjamin Netanyahu was found guilty by the International Criminal Court and is now a wanted man by the Interpol police. How these two are able to still be in power and commit these acts and putting all of us in danger is insane to me. While we're in a financial stress, all Americans right now, Trump had the audacity to announce the war during a fundraiser he was having at his golf course, selling $1 million dinner plates. And then when they asked him about the dead soldiers, he wants to talk about the statue on the White House lawn. During the press briefing, he's talking about the curtains and the ballroom. This man has no sympathy for any of us and does not care about how long we're dragged into this war. So far, 3 soldiers are dead, 18 are wounded. United States embassies are under attack by Iran missiles and by the locals there. We have also the 3 people shot and killed in Austin, Texas, and 14 others wounded. He's putting us in danger overseas and here. A man that was afraid to go to Vietnam War because of his toe is now going to tell us that this, losing soldiers is all about war. Nonchalant the people that everyone wants to follow. Well, 20% of Americans want to follow and believe in this war. Those 20%, you should be there at the recruiting stations right now, signing up. Since you believe in this war, signing up or getting your kids to go sign up. If you believe in something that much, go sign up. One is the gas prices are going to go up. With the gas prices going up, it's going to affect not just your car, but also people that use oil for their homes, but also the transportation trucks to get supplies from warehouses, loading docks into the stores. Everything in those stores are also going to go up. Our security, everything from, you should be aware and on high alert as we're under terror alert right now. Your daily travel plans, using public transportation, going out, jobs, especially jobs that provide critical either security or very valuable. We have the potential of being hacked. Iran is very intelligent when it comes to hacking, very resourceful when it comes to hacking. So you might want to be aware of that. Maybe have some money on hand in case ATMs doesn't work. The dollar is at a decline. It's been at a decline for a couple of decades. So the central banks have been moving away from the dollar and moving towards gold. It's called de-dollarization. They want to move away from the dollar because the U.S. has the power to sanction other countries and the rise of other currencies like BRICS. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, and South Africa. They're using their own funds to buy oil. So their money is starting to rise. Crypto is another threat. And last is the Chinese yuan. The Chinese currency is increasingly taking over the dollar because China is exporting to all of the other countries. It makes China a global threat, right? But China is leading us in everything from technology to trade to manufacturing. They lead in everything. And they're on the rise to becoming the superpower. But China does not produce their own oil. They get all of their oil from different countries. One was Venezuela, which we just saw what happened with them. Iraq, they got their oils from there. Now Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. They get oil also from Russia, which is one of their main partners. I believe if they move away from the petrodollar and now China doesn't need to buy oil using the petrodollar and other countries don't need to use the petrodollar, we're fucked. Our economy is going to tank. That is not something I believe. That is facts. That is something you can go on Google right now and you can research it as facts. The U.S. doesn't control the oil fields in Iraq, but they control the currency movement. In Venezuela, now with Maduro gone and them having a good relationship with the new president was willing to work with the U.S. That means now controlling the oil again, right? The Middle East, with all the oil there, the U.S. has relationship or control over those oil fields. Not the field itself, but currency movement and being partners like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, we have an understanding with them, a protection, which will protect you from people you have problem with, other nations you have problems with, and in return, you continue to sell the oil in petrodollar. So I believe that that's why we cannot allow Iran to continue to just sell oil to them. But that's part of the problem, not the full problem. If we stop the war right now and lose, that's going to show the other countries that we have a crack in our armor. Other countries won't be afraid of the U.S. and will really just walk away from the petrodollar. If we continue the war, that means sending your kids, you yourself potentially going to war, potentially putting us in danger. They say that there's already cells here, allegedly cells here that will activate. So there's no easy way of getting out of this right now. Leave and seem weak, or continue to fight until we lose everything or win. Trump has disregarded federal judges' orders 57 times. We've lost checks and balances. That means that he'll do anything he want, when he want, and no one can stop him. That worries me, especially a person of color. That worries me because I know how they feel about us. I know that they don't even want us here. As warehouses being turned into immigration buildings. This lady named Sabby, she made a good point. She said those camps are supposed to be for immigration. If the immigrants are all being sent back home and the borders are closed, why are you still opening up camps? And one of the camps alone in Georgia holds 80,000 people. With this war coming up, and you're going to have people that American citizens that they consider or that they've been trying to label domestic terrorists, Americans are not going to just be fine with it because he only has 20% of people supporting it. So when dissent starts to occur, those people can end up in there. People from Iran that's here, some of them cheering for the war. If this war goes full throttle, you might end up in there. Just like the Japanese ended up, American Japanese ended up in concentration camps during World War II. Don't think you're safe just because you want to be celebrated in the street. You better remember the way that this administration views you is you're still an Iranian. Remember the Cubans that voted for him thinking that they weren't going to be deported. Or not voted for him, but that was supporting him. They were deported. The average empire lasted in power for 250 years. This year, America turned 250 years old. I'm going to leave that with you for food for thought. Good luck to all the military that's still overseas. If it doesn't end soon, everybody just brace yourselves. I want to thank everyone that's been subscribing to my channel. And I value the time that you spend with me, so just thank you. Everything that I'm saying can be fact-checked. Until the next video.